Let's talk about when the first volume of JoJo was about to be published. The author was asked to write a brief message for the reader. Araki didn't think too deeply at the time, thus came up with a phrase, a hint to humanity. This term phrase was merely an accidental creation. Even he himself had not anticipated that this spontaneous thought would run through the next several decades of his manga career, gradually evolving into what we now call the golden spirit. What exactly is this golden spirit? Well, no one can really put into words, but funny enough, in horse racing, there is one family that keeps running with it again and again. They are dumb, but they are clever.
Are you sure about that?
They are magical, they are lovable. You will scream for them, you will left speechless by them. Unstable, unpredictable, but never boring. Some call them the Heart Attack Express. I call them the Joestar family of racing. And this is how the golden spirit began. In 1994 Hokkaido, a small healthy colt was born, carrying an enormous expectation from Shadai, a name you cannot avoid when talking about Japanese racing. Many people know the epic story of this horse, but the story behind his birth also matters. In the 20th century, Shadai spent decades importing knowledge and bloodlines from the world. And in 1990, Sunday Silence arrived in Japan. Within just a decade, he became the very core of Japanese breeding. But the most important thing he did was he changed the philosophy of the sport. Horses no longer raced until 6 and 7 and began to retire at 4 to 5-year-old. This signified Japanese racing began to stand on their own without relying on importing stock. What Shadai did for the sport was profound. However, within this meteoric rise, Japanese racing was not facing equal treatment. At the time, racing superiority was shown in every aspect in the West. Whenever the Shadai representative talked about their travel back then, they often felt that veiled discrimination. Japan doesn't have horse racing. Selling this bloodline to Japan would be the loss of a century-old legacy. Comparing people's attitude back then and today, it's hard to not feel the irony. And it's precisely because of this special history. This little horse carried a pedigree that felt so special. His father was the horse who changed the sport. His mother was Golden Sash, the full sister of Soccer Boy, the daughter of Dictus, Shadai's early foundation stallion. We can also find Northern Taste, another pillar that shaped the industry. In other words, within this small body flowed the very bloodline that built Shadai's entire empire. To match such a dreamlike pedigree, this horse was sent to Japan's Hall of Fame trainer, Ike Yasuo. Even Ike sensei himself was curious. What kind of a horse could possibly emerge from such a luxurious bloodline? And just like so many legends begin, the moment he saw the colt, he was in disbelief. Why is it so small?
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
But size doesn't matter. His small frame did absolutely nothing to contain the madness inside. Bipedally, biting people, biting horses, not listening to instruction, the list continued.
I'm locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me.
And somehow miraculously, this little colt managed to complete his training and make it to the track. He was then given his name, Stay Gold, and paired up with the first victim, his first jockey, Olivier Pellier. In his debut, Stay Gold showcased a powerful spurt. Although a late start left him finishing only 3rd place, the performance was promising enough. Because the team had a great expectation on Stay Gold, they immediately entered the 2nd race. Just when everything was going perfectly, Stay Gold decided to give up entirely.
There was a misinput, calm down! You calm the fuck down!
At the time, Stay Gold had somewhat of an injury. Nothing serious, just a minor issue. For other horses, they would finish the race normally. But for a horse already difficult in temperament, Stego simply stopped trying entirely. Pettier quickly said this horse won't do it. The team also realized we need to find the next jockey. And with that, Stego met his most important jockey, Kumazawa Shigefumi. His first jockey was Pettier. I know the horse pulled out mid-race. Even a jockey like Pettier couldn't stand him. When it became my turn to ride him, my feelings were complicated. With that complicated feeling, Stego began to cook. Heck, he began to bake, roast, and toast. At first, Stego showed none of the issues at all. In training, he was obedient, so much so that Kuwazawa began to lower his guard. Even Pettier found him unbearable. There had to be something wrong with him. I came with that bias, but instead, my impression was very good. He was indeed a good horse. So at the third race, the entire camp felt the same way. This horse will win, no doubt about it. And then Stego just pulled out Lewis Hamilton 2021.
Lewis Hamilton takes it away, but he locks off!
In that one single race, Stego showcased his three defining traits: uncontrollable, drifting sideways, and launching his jockey. What can you do? The infamous horse earned a reputation. Now you can't just find the next victim. Kuwazawa could only try and visit the horse every day, trying to build trust by training and living together. And that's when he realized he misunderstood Stego. Because this flaws on the course was nothing compared to his bad temper. Stego refused to train. He hates being led. He hates being told what to do. To the point, during training, Kumazawa stayed so long on his back waiting him to move. Ate lunch, finished lunch, Stego still didn't move. So others offered a solution. Why don't we geld him? And trainer Ike listened to this totally reasonable solution. Stego was gelded and sent back to racing. And with that, my Gold Family series ends here. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thankfully that never happened. But when we look at Stego's pedigree, indeed, Stego's pedigree was elite. But for the trainer, that bloodline didn't signal a bright future. It signals headache. His parents, Sunday Silence and Golden Sash, both were legendary hotheads. Even worse, their parents were also infamous for being troublemakers. So when the two lineage was combined, naturally you don't get Mr. Obedient. After that, Stego and Kumazawa went through two more second place. Finally, in the 6th race, Stego earned his first victory. A second win followed, then a 4th place. At the time, the only classic remained was the Kikasho. To prepare for that, Stego entered one of the most important races of his life, the Akanko Special. As he raced more, he became more and more difficult to handle. Still, his ability was very high. If he ran normally, he would rise to the top quickly. At the time, no one truly understood what the Akanko would come to mean for Stego. In October 1997, Stego made his group race debut and finished 4th. Under normal circumstances, only the top 3 would qualify for the Kikasho, but due to withdrawals, Stego, with the highest win of Akanko, slipped into the field. In this Kikasho, Stego went off as the 10th favorite. The pace was slow. First 1000 meter was 61.8, 2000 meter was 208.3. To put it simply, it was very slow. Eventually turned the race into a burst of speed contest at the end. Perfect for the horses in the front, but the exact opposite direction of what Stego was good at. Stego's strength was stamina, and he tended to thrive in faster tempo, favoring horses coming from behind. At the end, Stego unsurprisingly finished 8th, yet due to slow pace, he was only 3 lengths behind. For a 10th favorite in his very first G1, this was far from a bad result. As the jockey put it, it's unfortunate. In a slow pace, he simply can't show his true strength. But still, it wasn't a heavy loss at all. Even more telling, Akanko showed no signs of fatigue at all, so the team immediately entered him to the International Jockey Invitational. Since it was a jockey series, his rider was signed randomly, and by pure fate, Yutaka drew Stego and finished 2nd place. It looked good on paper, but afterward, Taki Yutaka also said he never wanted to ride the horse ever again, and left somewhat of a famous quote. This horse isn't here to race, he's only interested in biting other horses. When his fellow stars were earning the glory of their lives, Stay-Go, the highly anticipated star, ended his classic year with a proud record of pissing off 2 famous jockeys, and then he began to cook again. Do you know how to become a silver collector? Well, you gotta do some of this. With unstoppable momentum, Stay-Go got 4th second place in a row. After securing the ticket to Tenno show, Stay-Go also began to gather a good amount of fans. On the racetrack, each narrow defeat made people cheer for him more. When the trainer recalled his time, he was a late bloomer, not just physically, but mentally as well. I knew many fans were cheering for him. Those voices reached me, and all I could think was, I have to let him win. So the team adopted the philosophy. For a fiery horse, don't force him to do anything. Don't use the whip if not necessary. The race began. Because last year's classic winner were all absent, other top horses like Silent Suzuka and Air Groove were not long-distance horses. The spotlight fell on a rematch between Mejiro Bright and Silk Justice, which they just put out a banger performance in the Hanshin Daishoten. Hanshin Daishoten is an interesting race. Although it is a Group 2, Hanshin 3000 meter is such a unique setting to the point that if a horse can handle this setting, it is considered a waste to not run at the race. Therefore, it often delivers some top-tier matches, including this year between Mejiro Bright and Silk Justice. As the race went to its later stage, the front horses began to fade. Mejiro Bright and Silk Justice launched their move. But at this very moment, a familiar figure surged up behind them, wobbling, drifting, but nonetheless charging forward. This horse never won a group race. His highest win was still Akanko, which is 6 tier below a group 1. Finished a surprising or unsurprising 2nd place. The camp was thrilled. This horse, long dismissed as problematic, had never lacked ability. What he needed was someone willing to understand him. Surely, in the next race, he will finally... He always seemed to be just a little short. He keeps repeating the same kind of race. Still, the team did not doubt him. For the next race, they aimed for the Taklas Kine. Akanko went as the 9th favorite. Such low support was understandable due to his resume, but another reason was that this Taklas Kine was nothing short of a battlefield. Air Groove, Mejiro Dober, Mejiro Bright, Silk Justice, a group of G1 champions filled the race. But most importantly, the overwhelming favor was that Silent Suzuka. Every horse here is dangerous, but the most terrifying one is Silent Suzuka's front lead. So they entered the race with one goal: try to catch Silent Suzuka. And with that in mind, the race began. As always, Silent Suzuka went straight to the front, setting a ferocious pace and opening up a 10-length lead. Even as they entered the final straight, he still held a commanding lead. But all of a sudden, Stay-Go began to pass the other elite one by one until he reached 2nd. The fast pace favored Stay-Go, and Hanshin was famously a home turf for the Go family. Even Silent Suzuka displayed astonishing resilience. Stay-Go gave him a tough challenge. The gap kept shrinking, but the finishing line was also closing. Kumazawa later recalled this race as the closest one because it really felt like he could catch up. But finishing second among such a field was nothing short of impressiveness. But the Group 2 after that was yet another loss. Up to this point, Staygold had collected 8 second place. How to make this horse win became the biggest goal, and from this moment, Staygold began his miraculous journey of losing. His next race was that heartbreaking Silent Sunday. Although it was a tragedy for Silent Suzuka, for Staygold, he suddenly became the clear favorite. Victory should be guaranteed, and yet in the home straight, he began drifting sharply to the inside. No matter how the jockey waved from the inner rail, he continued pulling inward, refusing to go straight, and finished second place again. Later at the Japan Cup, he became a background NPC and witnessed El Condo Pasa's historical victory, though he did manage to bite the tail of Special Week. Then came the Alimakinen. Once again, Staygold was overlooked in a competitive field, and once again, he delivered a solid third place, witnessing the miraculous comeback from Grass Wonder. Looking back at the year, Staygold had 11 starts, 6 second place, and yet his highest victory was still that Akanko. Because of that, he was given the honorable nickname Akanko Tourism Ambassador. Normally, a horse capable of multiple G1 runner-up should easily have G2 or G3 victory. Jockey Kumazawa explained it the best. He's not the kind of horse that runs until he's exhausted. He always felt like he had something left. That's why I urged him with the whip. But the moment you upset him, he simply stopped entirely. Don't push him, he won't try. If you push him, he won't run. Akanko just had to be special. The following year, Akanko's goal became challenging nice nature. He finished third in 4 of the races. Reputation evolved from silver collector to battlefield journalist. I am going to skip all of this race because he really just was an NPC.
Hello.
Among them, the Tenno show beaten by Special Week by just a neck was the closest. After witnessing Special Week defeating Monju in the Japan Cup, the legendary duel between Grass Wonder and Special Week in the Alimakinen, Akanko raced through the entire rise, clash, and retirement from the golden generation, looking at so many Kohai retiring from track. Staygold understood the key to victory. Thus, Akanko entered his 6-year-old season with 4 consistent results. Second, third, second, fourth. By now, Akanko's losing streak reached 28. At the time, the team tried everything to get Staygold to run in a straight line, but he was too smart that whatever the method they used, he saw through the method and figured out a way to dismantle the system. This horse was too clever. People taking care of him also developed a connection with the horse. And so the team made the painful decision to replace the jockey to Taki Yutaka. Not because they had any complaint, they simply wanted to try something new. May 20, 2000, Tokyo Racecourse. Rain fell through the sky. The track was heavy. Akanko was sent off as the second favorite. The early stage of the race went smoothly. And then, in the final straight, Staygold unleashed a brilliant kick, surging past the leaders and finally won the race. The crowd erupted. The cheers that day rival a Group 1. This victory carried more weight than it appeared. It was Staygold's first win in 2 years and 8 months, his first stake victory, and also the 100th stake win for progeny of Sunday Silence. At long last, Akanko finally graduated from Akanko. Congratulations, Akanko. No, Staygold. This was a deserving victory. Although you never won a G1, that impossible dream can at least be realized by your children. It's time to retire.
Are you sure about that?
Like that is ever going to happen. At the time, Sunday Silence was still alive. Shada could not secure many resources for Staygold, so they planned to sell him to other farm, but Staygold was not seen as a highly priced stallion. The negotiation eventually broke. What can you do? Well, time to continue your career. But this was year 2000. In the remaining year, TM Opero completely ruled over the sport. Staygold could only watch as Opelao completed his undefeated Grand Slam journey, watching him complete the great breakthrough of the century. In my Opera O's video, I said it was like a 1 against 15 for Opera O. But in the Alima, Stay Gold was actually boxed even more severely. After another year of being a battlefield journalist, Stay Gold entered his 7-year-old season.
今スタートしました。まず揃ったスタートであります。果たして何が先手を取るんでしょうか。
Hey, do you think Akanko can win this year? Are you stupid? Do you know how old he is? 7-year-old. How many horses are still competitive at that age? Even Opera always losing now. だよね. I'm going to support the first favorite, Rosado. Akanko had cost me thousands over the past 4 years. This year, I know better. Whoever bet on this horse is just stupid, foolish.
Who would thought? In the very first race this year, Stay Gold claimed the second stake with ease. All the bad habits from the past suddenly disappeared. With such a strong condition, the team made him enter the Dubai Shima Classic. Back then, the stronger horse typically stayed home for the Tenno show, and in truth, the biggest role for Stay Gold was a support. There was another horse competing at the Dubai World Cup. The camp wanted to travel an extra horse to keep others comfort. Stay Gold was that extra one. The expectation was close to nothing. What's worse, this journey was brutal. A 30-hour flight combined with abdominal pain during travel. Stay Gold was in arguably the worst condition, and the opponent awaiting him was the reigning champion Fantastic Light, one of the strongest horses of his era. Under the expectation of just being safe is all the best, the team witnessed a jaw-dropping victory.
ステイゴールドが間をついて上がってくる。ステイゴールドが間をついて上がってくる。前に迫るとステイゴールド。さあ、ファンタスティックライトにステイゴールド、シルバーの。さあ、ファンタスティックライト、ステイゴールド、ステイゴールド、ファンタスティックライト、ステイゴールド、2頭でラジゴーリー。さあどうか。ファンタスティックライトとステイゴールド。最後はこの2頭だ。
The first Japanese horse to win the Shima Classic, the first overseas stake for the children of Sunday silence, and as if fate demanded poetry, that day was Stay Gold's birthday. What is this win? After his triumphant return, Stay Gold witnessed the final brilliance of TM Opera. Just when everyone thought he had finally grown up, he pulled another Wuno reverse that got him disqualified. In the following Tenno show and Japan Cup, he failed to run in straight line again, ending disappointing. As fans prepared to vote him one last time for the Alima Kinen, they found out Stay Gold ran away. Instead, the team made a poetic decision. For his final race, they would send him overseas one last time, the destination, Hong Kong. Because of his victory in the Dubai Shima Classic, the team think he performed quite well outside Japan. Therefore, Stay Gold, for the first time in his career, became that first favorite in a G1 due to international victory. As tradition, the Hong Kong Jockey Club assigns Chinese name to international runner, and the immortal name he received was Golden Journey. The race began. Stay Gold settled calmly in the middle of the pack. This horse had seen everything. He witnessed the final glory of the Mejiro family. He watched Silent Suzuka's front lead, the heartbreaking Silent Sunday. He lived through the rise and fall of the entire golden generation. He saw the century-end reign of an overlord. He witnessed the revenge of Meisho Doto and the dawn of a new age after TM Opera. However it ends, it is an end of an era. But at the third turn, Accra burst forward. By the time they entered the final straight, Accra was still leading by 5 lengths, a gap that should not be able to close. The race seemed to be decided. And yet, Stay Gold began his chase. never won a Group 1, never once the first favorite in a G1, a horse who so often held something back, in his last race suddenly gave everything he had. The champions of each generation streak across the sky like meteors. What remains is the challenger, witnessing countless stories, and in the end, close the book with his own. This journey, win or lose, belongs to no one but my own golden journey. This was the first overseas G1 victory achieved by a horse born and trained in Japan. Comparing to Ugly Cap and Tokai Tail, the final race of State Gold stands shoulder to shoulder with them. A veteran who ran 50 times in career finally fulfilled his lifelong wish in the very last race and was gifted the name Golden Journey, a name so perfect that it traveled back to Japan and became his identity. This is the kind of story even Hollywood writer would hesitate to put on paper, and yet this was real history that happened in reality. In the final sprint, he suddenly drifted inward, nearly ran into the rail. Normally, Stego had a bad habit to drift to the left. This time, he had to surprise people by drifting right. That scared the crap out of Yutaka. Even in his final moment, he still stayed true to himself. So much so that he passed this bad habit down to the future. And with that, the father of the Gold family came to its dramatic end. After his retirement, Japan filmed a documentary for this beloved veteran. When the film reached the end, people taking care of him began to talk hope for him as a father. They were saying his children will probably be just as difficult as him. By then, there will be new victims that need to take care of those troublemakers. But when saying this, none of them were complaining. Many even began to shed tears, wishing his children would claim the victories he couldn't in Japan. As mentioned before, Shadai once considered selling State Gold. The reasons were many. He was clearly too late maturing. His temperament was difficult. By his retirement, he was 4 breeding seasons behind others, and there was just too much Sunday silence blood in the market. Hoping his children to do well was just a hope. At that time, no one could have imagined the scale of impact he would leave for the sport, and what form this beloved horse would pass the golden spirit onward. The chaos, the brilliance, the stubbornness, and the joy. State Gold retired, but the story did not end here. This golden journey was just about to begin.